No, that was...
Mamma mia!
It wasn't much better than...
Welcome back to Andertons TV. Danish Pete is with the Les Paul today. Actually, she's got some other guitars over there.
Yeah, I got a few other guitars.
And we are talking about a new guitar amplifier from Mike Soldano, the legend.
From the outer galaxy, one might say.
Yeah, so anyway, if you're not familiar with Andertons TV, we put gear reviews and interviews with guitar players up every day on this channel. If you want to stay bang up to date with what's new, please like and subscribe. We sell merch on the Andertons store. In fact, Andertons is a whole Aladdin's cave of musical instruments. Links below where you can go and buy pretty much anything you like.
And we play badly guitar on amazing gear.
Mike Soldano is...
Mike Soldano.
Actually, given that really... he just designed one amp. I'm sort of underplaying, really. You know, the SLO 100 came out in the 80s, and it was one of the amps of that decade.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Stevie Ray, Eric Clapton, Gary Moore. The list is, you know, relatively endless of epic guitar players.
Stevie Ray used it right at the end there. There was a little period.
Yeah. It was known... I suppose it was known for its hot-rodded Marshall flavour, right? It was known for just a big, fat gain sound, predating all of your 5150 and that sort of vibe of amplifier. So Mike went relatively quiet in the guitar industry up until 3 or 4 years ago, where he did a deal with
the devil,
the boutique. Yeah, with the devil. No, he did a deal with the boutique amp building guys in America, which is like a sort of a stable of Dave Friedman and Tone King amplifiers and Wampler pedals. Yeah. There's another big amp brand that I've completely Morgan, you know, all that kind of stuff. So he sort of joined that stable, and the SLO 100 was reintroduced. The SLO 30 followed shortly afterwards.
Amazing amp.
Which, as the name would suggest, was just a lower output version of an SLO 100. But this bad boy is probably the first truly new amplifier from Mike Soldano in decades. And it's called the Astro. And it's exciting because it's got incredible Soldano tones in there that are easy to use. It's got an amp panel which is hyper familiar. No one's going to get frightened or go down a rabbit hole, you know, trying to work out how this works. Plus, you can plug it into your computer, you can access IRs, you can run this straight into a DI, you can put headphones in the back of it, so it's a little bit of like, you know, it's definitely got some newer stuff.
Yeah, and it's got a nice little...
hasn't it? So in this demo, we're going to run through this Soldano 2x12. It's a vintage 30 loaded 2x12, mic'd up with a 57 and a Royal 121. And then after that, we'll do the same kind of playing clips, but through the DI output, showing you the IRs. Here's the headline features. They call it a 3-channel, 4-galaxy, multi-IR loaded valve guitar head. We have 2 6v6 power tubes and 4 12AX7 power tubes. We have 3 channels, so a clean channel.
In there.
Yep, clean channel and 2 gain channels. This is where it gets kind of clever. There are 4 galaxies. The clean channel is confined to the green galaxy, which I guess is where the cleanest tones are. They describe that as classic American combo amplifiers. We all know what that means now. However, overdrives 1 and 2 can be assigned either a blue, a purple, or a red galaxy, each of which have their own sort of tonal characteristic. Yeah. They just get fatter and gainier as you go from blue to red. Yeah. The amplifier has 6 IRs that can be saved within here. It comes with a set of, you know, IRs within it, and then you can replace those if you want to with your own IRs. It comes with a great foot switch, which is a full MIDI 4-button foot switch. This will allow you to save which channel through which galaxy and which IR would you like for each of the 4 of those, which is pretty cool. And as you're seeing on the screen now, because it's quite handy that you start pressing those buttons because you can actually see some movement, it comes with a free software editor as well that allows you to Actually, to be fair,
You don't necessarily need that, do you? Unless you want to load the IRs.
in this particular
IR.
instance, yeah, I'm not convinced that the editor is terribly useful,
No.
other than for messing around with
IRs.
your
And once you
virtual
find your IRs, I mean, that's the danger, isn't it? You don't need that many IRs. It's a dangerous thing to get into.
Cabless operation. So again, just to remind you, there is a dummy load in here. So if you would like to use this head either with no cab straight into DI or straight into headphones, or a blend of the two, you can. I don't believe I need the manual anymore, Monsieur Pete.
No, Monsieur Lee.
Let's just hear it. Head is $18.99 in the UK. And then there's a little combo, which I haven't seen yet. Is it a 112? Let me have a little look.
Yeah, but we haven't done the combos yet of the the SLO30s either.
Imagine that. That's pretty nifty. A 1x12 combo version of this, all the same features at $21.99.
And it's the same size as the 30-watt head, isn't it? So.
Yep. Reverb is coming courtesy of the Strymon Blue Sky. There is an effects loop. There's no reverb built in. And as we said, everything you're hearing at the moment is the cab. So can we hear channel 1 in the green galaxy, Mr. Pete?
A little bit of shimmer on there. Man, it's fat.
We've got...
Is it 6v6s in here?
yeah, 6... I mean,
So that's like a...
20 watts is... That's what the...
Princeton.
Yeah, it's that smaller Fender guitar amplifier I would normally use. There's a 3-position bright switch and a 3-position depth switch, which are not assignable, if you like, to each channel. So it's just wherever they are, that will apply to all of your settings.
Okay, all settings.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, can you put the depth in the middle? So it's okay.
Yeah,
So let's
depth
just do. I'll show you what the brightness
Depth
does. So to this way. That way. In the middle. You might want a bit of brightness with that guitar.
Yeah, so in the middle. Okay, so a bit too much reverb.
I think towards me is the nicest. This way.
Over here it's full on top, isn't it? And over there it's more sort of.
And then same with the depth control. So in the middle it's like this. To me.
Like that.
Very noticeable.
To me, to you, to me, to you.
Yeah.
So that's
we have been compared to the Chuckle Brothers on many occasions.
Yeah.
Do you want that? I wonder if actually.
I think it might be too much.
Yeah, that big fat deep sound is nice probably on the clean channel, but I imagine as you go dirty,
yeah, you'll have to take it off. I mean, it's also when you're playing on your own, it's always nice to have a little bit more low end, isn't it? I like that.
We've got a tone control here for the clean channel as well.
Okay. Sounds great, man.
Always on great guitar amplifiers, the EQ sits at 12 o'clock and you just go, I don't need to change it. It sounds fine. I mean, you can change it if you want to, but let's see if we do have a master volume, so we can see if there is a sort of a cranked Fender-y type.
Go again. I'm going on the bridge.
I was going to say, it's not like a bassman cranked thing, is it?
This is like a Princeton cranked. You know,
I think it's very high
when
headroom,
you turn
this.
What happens to the Princeton, because it's like 12 watts, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you go up to here and then it's just nice and clean, nice and clean, nice and clean, and then it doesn't get any louder, it just gets more distorted as you go up.
I think there's quite a lot of, you can get quite a lot of that dirty overdrive out of a Fender tube amplifier. I think this is designed to be a high headroom clean channel, you know, so it doesn't feel like there's a great deal of natural. It's a little bit, but not a lot.
A little lot.
Okay.
A lot of it.
So I think the Soldano all Soldano amplifiers have a really nice clean channel.
Yeah.
But nobody buys it for that.
No, but you say that because they did redo the clean channel in the 30, didn't they?
Yeah.
And the 100 that came out when we launched it. So and it is much better than the old clean channel.
Thorpe has got an original SLO 100.
Yeah.
And I remember when I tried that, and I'd actually tried the new one before I'd ever tried the old one, and I was quite underwhelmed with the old one because there was such a huge volume and fatness difference between the drive and the clean channel that you're going, how could you ever switch to the clean channel?
Yeah.
It's just but the new ones have a much more balanced.
Yeah. It's an amazing,
vibe.
Incredible amplifier.
So here's where the groovy colours come in. So to change the channel, I can either use the foot switch, which I expect most of you will. I can use the editor if I want, or I can this is like a little momentary foot switch here. So you can kind of see it's going channel 1, channel 2, back to clean again. And the colour over here designates the galaxy that we're in.
Yeah.
And I'll show you how you change that in a second. So I want to go to channel 1, and then I can change the galaxy setting with the galaxy momentary foot switch. Once I've basically assigned the galaxy I want to my channel, I can then store that to a certain setting in the foot switch if I want to. But look,
by holding the channel switch.
Yeah. So let's hear channel 1 with in the blue mode with not much drive, and let's see where we go with that.
It's got that punch and that immediate sort of attack that they have.
Yeah.
Soldanos.
How 20 watts as well.
20 watts, but
loud, right? You know what? The master didn't make as much difference as I thought it would.
No, I think the
channel
master
gain the channel volume has got much more impact, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I think, do you know what? That's always the way with lower wattage tube amplifiers is there's a lot of volume difference in the first sort of, 30 or 40% of the, so you're thinking, oh my goodness, how loud is this going to get? And then you get past that and you go, oh, it actually doesn't actually get any louder. It just gets a bit more distorted.
Yeah, there's more nuances in the sound, isn't there? If you're wondering what those numbers are, it's a dB meter. So that's how we tell how loud it is in the room.
and by how much blood is coming out of areas. Let's just start winding the gain up in this blue mode.
Okay.
Listen to that bass end coming in, the fatness, yes!
Wow.
Bloody hell.
Bloody hell, mate.
Not that it matters at this particular stage of the demo, but, and again, correct me please, Mike or someone at Boutique if I'm wrong, I don't think Gain 1 and Gain 2 are voiced differently. I think the idea is that you just set them differently and put them in a different galaxy to give you your two different vibes.
I like that. That's a good concept. The galaxy.
So bloody great, lobbed all the way up. But let's hear that now. Let's change the galaxies.
Yeah.
So
you could save that. So hang on. So if I don't know, it's stored over here, isn't it? So but you could save that.
Well, go to channel 2, and then we'll get the blue galaxy.
Yeah.
And obviously
that's what it was, wasn't it?
We absolutely could assign an IR to this now if we want, and then I just I press and hold the
and that does that
channel button that you saw the little flash there, and now essentially when the beat goes back to.
If it doesn't store the volume on these channels here, so I have to set that, and then that'll be it.
The only thing
if I go to here, then I'll have to make sure that these are matched, right?
Yeah. The only thing that is stored is what channel are you on, which galaxy are you in, which IR have you got?
Yeah. So no EQs, anything.
The depth switches, the brightness switches, everything like that is wherever it is on the amp.
All right.
So it's from that perspective. And I think most amps like this are like that, but it's not like a multi-effects unit.
Or like the Hook one where it motorizes into
motorized,
the...
yeah, absolutely.
But that's
anyway,
a whole nother level of madness.
I want to now hear let's go back to that channel one. Right, I want to hear this now in its next galaxy. So set warp factor 7, please, Mr. Zulu.
Beam me up. Oh, man. There's that low end. I love that it just goes like turn that reverb up. It's so immediate.
Put the depth in on the amp, but then use the tube screamer maybe with a very low gain setting to just tighten it up.
Normal tube screamer.
We've got a halcyon green from Origin Effects.
No sleep till Brooklyn!
Half of me is like, you could have saved yourself 50 quid on components here by not even bothering to have the EQ, but I suppose we ought to see what it sounds like.
So we haven't even used it, man.
It just doesn't need it.
It just sounds good. It just sounds good, man. Wow.
We'll stay on this purple Galaxy.
But I don't know gain. I can't play gainy stuff.
Well, and we'll try a little bit with
below.
a single coil pickup as well. But let's have a little listen here. So, bit of bass.
Fine for me.
Yeah, but what's quite nice, I think, on the EQ is it adds enough for you to notice what's going on, but not so much that it takes it into stupid areas. Yeah. Anyway, look, right, we've got one more Galaxy to do. We've got the red Galaxy.
It's a fruit nut.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, here we go, the chocolate debate again. Let's have a little listen to this.
No, this is the best Galaxy I've been in so far.
Rage Against the Machine.
All you have to do is play that one chord.
I know metal's not your thing, and the guys out there will be like, you know, you might, whatever. You might play
but
different
you've never
stuff.
played in front of 100,000 people in a stadium.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant that sounded
whenever you
unbelievable.
do, exactly. That's the thing, is you don't have to be a metal player with a metal sound, because all you have to do is play this D chord. I mean, it's insane sound. Again, it's an insane sound, man.
I am throwing this hand grenade out there. But you can take any Soldano model on a modelling amplifier.
Oh, here we go. Oh, this is scary. Oh,
and
man, we
and it won't do.
This is us.
It won't do that. And I don't. Again, I don't know. I don't know if it'll come across on YouTube. But that sound had everything.
You cannot listen to this on your phone.
It wasn't a digital photograph of that sound.
No.
It was the full.
And that's because you're sitting
sound.
right next to the cabinet, you know, and you can't listen to the headphones.
Right.
But that leads us on to what actually this sounds like in a DI scenario, right? I mean,
absolutely.
It won't sound like it.
So there's our.
My God, it sounds good, man.
Do you know what, though? Before we go on to the DI, sorry, can we just whiz through the 3 channels with your different guitar?
Yeah. Sorry.
No talking. We'll just literally you play. I'll change the channel every 30 seconds or so, and
then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It's a nice spanky tone, isn't it?
Here's Danish Pete's 3-second review.
That's that sort of, it just has all of the...
Cheers for watching Danish Pete's 3-second review.
What is that?
Big difference with a different pickup.
Yeah. Wow, lots of gain, much less gain.
Much less gain.
Yeah.
Same amount of gain, but now pink or purple.
Wow. That's a proper... So it's got that Marshall type y, you know what I mean? That. Wow, that sounds good.
And finalement, the Red Galaxy.
It's like a what is it called? Stereo. Blackbird. What is it called? Blackstone Cherry.
Oh, Blackstone Cherry.
It's like Blackstone Cherry.
It just sounds fat.
You know what I mean? Wow. I need to keep forgetting the drop D.
It's almost depressing that we're going to stop playing quite this loud. But here we go. So this next part of the demo. Go back to the Les Paul.
Yeah, man. Let's go.
I just think we did the bulk of the demo in the Les Paul, didn't we? So we should probably do that. But man,
let's go back to the Les Paul.
Amplifier takes on such a different characteristic when you change guitars.
Yeah.
It's like
that's a sign of good amplifier.
I like it when that happens because what you want to hear is the character of the guitar amplified.
And it's an excuse for you to buy more guitars. To buy one amp and then have 20 guitars, you know.
Let's go and have a look on the back. Let's go and have a look on the back. Going from the power side, so you've got power on and off. The foot switch, here's an interesting one.
Yes.
If Pete would hold up the foot switch, you'll notice that not only that this foot switch is getting power to it via the DIN cable. Now, that is because the clever people at Soldano have used a 7-pin MIDI socket and supplied this with a 7-pin DIN cable.
Surprise!
If you lose that and replace it, you'll find most shops will just sell the 5-pin MIDI cable, which will work. All right, but the two missing pins are where the power comes from.
Yeah.
So you'd have to power the foot switch via a different, 9-volt power supply.
But it does say here 9 to 12 volt AC DC 5200, so you can take everything.
So pretty much any, because all it's doing is basically, from what I can see, is powering the lights on and off. But yes, if you lose the cable that comes with this, and you're going, why doesn't it work anymore? It's because you've probably gone and bought a 5-pin cable.
It seems to Mr. Boogie had something similar, and and they're so flaky.
I've talked to some people. There's some reticence to use 7-pin DIN because I think it's fairly easy to short if you catch the two pins on a metal part of the foot switch, it shorts the power supply out to the foot switch. So that's what I remember. Anyway, then we've got a USB socket. That's how we're connecting the it's Pete's favourite HP printer USB port.
Stone Age.
Balanced output, which is what you're now going to hear. So the 3-pin DI output with a ground lift. Headphone socket, which is super unusual, but very cool with its own level control. Effects loop, which we're using. And then multiple outputs for the speaker to be attached. Oh, that's simple enough, wasn't it?
SA, USB SA, stop for Stone Age. That's the USB SA, isn't it?
Now, what's pretty cool as well, I was kind of looking, is there a switch or something you have to activate for the dummy load? But apparently you just turn the volume down.
Yeah, you just go... It sounds bloody good in there as well.
For no reason other than I get to use the editor here. I'm going to now change the channels and the IRs from here. I absolutely could. We didn't talk about that, did we? But there is a switch over at the end here if you want to change the cabinet emulations from there as well.
Cabinet bypass.
So here we are. Let's change to the green channel. So I can't. I'm forced to stay in the green galaxy on the clean channel, but I can, of course, have different virtual cabs if I want to. A little bit like that Friedman IRX pedal that came out. You'll probably notice this editor looks very similar. So here's the first cab, which would suggest it's a 212.
And if I've never heard a 212 before, I'll go, oh yeah, that sounds like a 212.
Here would suggest...
Sounds great, man.
A 212 with different speakers, V30s.
Okay. So that's like this cab then?
Yeah.
It sounds exactly like it. I mean, it sounds great. We've got a couple of Genelecs in the room here. And if you close your eyes, you could be sitting in another room with a microphone on the cab.
Yeah, you're not. This is the difference, isn't it? Now, and this is where we keep boringly banging on.
I'm not feeling the 212 in the room.
This sounds just how it would sound if you'd mic the amplifier up, sat in the control room, and listened to it through a pair of these speakers.
Yeah.
It does not sound the same. It is not the same experience of standing right in front of the cab in the room.
No.
And that's, I think, what we keep... It's an experiential thing rather than a sound thing, isn't it?
Which means that it might sound the same for you guys out there listening to a phone and you go, oh, it sounds exactly the same. Why would I buy the real amp then?
And herein is the whole reason why you should, at least once in your life, go and try some really loud valve amplifiers.
Yeah, it's like watching a dominatrix kick some man in the balls on a video, or go and get kicked in the balls by a dominatrix in real life. That's the difference.
That's the best analogy ever, and that has to stay in the video.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wouldn't know what that is like.
No, I do, of course. This is my thing, man.
412.
412?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, there's lots of 412s here. Another 412.
It's a little bit more low end in it. You can hear when you're playing the lower notes. What is that?
Another 412. Another 412.
That's a nice 412. But in the room it's nice. The other one's felt a bit better for live stuff.
I'm just going to lob out this little disclaimer here. We are using a pre-production version of the editor here. And if I'm totally honest with you, I am seeing that I don't think the description of what the cabinets is up to date. So
Okay.
if when you get your Astro, assuming you buy one and yours looks a bit different to
It'll
this,
be- yeah.
apologies if the names or descriptions of these cabs are a bit different. It doesn't really matter because at the end of the day you can load your own ones
Exactly.
in anyway.
And that's works fine for that. You know.
So let's. Okay,
it sounds
so
great,
there's
man. Let's throw some gain on
plain
here.
sounds. Yeah,
I wanna hear a
that's
bit of
what I'm
gain, see
doing.
what-
So I'm
yeah.
now going. Oh, let's go to the blue channel and we'll go back the other way with the cabs.
Can you turn volume up and down on this one as well?
No, so that's
Okay.
So you can see I've got a visual display of the amplifier, right? But there's nothing's happening if I'm trying to sort of drag. It's not designed to do that. It's very much an analog kind of. If you want to change something, you have to do it here.
We never did the presence in the maybe we'll do that in a bit, but it's just kind of this. Yeah,
It's nice to know that the presence control does what a presence control is supposed to do.
It gives me presence. No, it's my.
We don't.
Merry
I mean, it is all a bit underwhelming after you've done it through the cab, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit like maybe it not like Pete said. You might be hearing exactly the same, which I guess is the point of IRs and stuff like that. But when you've literally been sat in the room with over 100 dB Les Paul going mad like that, and then you're hearing it much quieter through studio monitors, it's difficult to feel as
almost
inspired.
want to cry.
But so come on, play a bit, and I'll just skip through the
Skip to Malou. Much more difference when you got gain on. That's a fat one, that. It's nice.
Yeah, I mean, for those eagle-eyed amongst you, you'll see there is a little switch at the top of the page here called IR bypass. If for whatever reason you're not a fan of using the IRs that are in here and you'd rather use something like a UAD aux stomp or something like that, you could elect to bypass these IRs, use a separate device. Again, if you're familiar with this channel and you watch a lot of the stuff that we put out, you're probably looking at this going, oh, it looks a bit like the Friedman IRX editor. And that's the upside of having a bunch of amp builders as part of the same stable, because they'll be able to draw on each other's inspiration and technology. And I'm absolutely certain that this is very much from the Friedman IRX.
Yeah.
Anyway,
can I just hear what it sounds like in that sound we had, but just put the tube screamer on top to
what
see
was
what
your
it sounds like?
favourite cab?
The last cab. It takes the pedals fine.
Do you know, one of the other things that I think I've got a tendency to do when I'm hearing it through studio monitors than through the amp is put more gain on it. Because I feel like...
Yeah, but that's...
And maybe that's a mistake, but I sort of feel like I'm trying to compensate for that lack of volume somehow. But anyway, whatever.
I'm tuning again to Gibson. I think that is... that's a testament maybe to know a little bit about recording or not know something about recording, because I tend to listen to a lot of stuff or people that demonstrate too much gain.
Always recorded with
always too much gain. Go to where you think gain is and then go back a quarter.
But I think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you're recording it and listening through there, I think the tendency is to go, you're going, I need something more. And then you put too much gain on, then you listen back to it and go, oh, I've put too much gain on that,
Gain is not
Gain is not your friend.
I think mid, it's like a mid boost thing. You want the mid boost for it to jump out through the little... I mean, these speakers are great. I mean, they changed our lives in here.
Aren't they?
But I think, and that's really important too, have good speakers, because what's the point in having something amazing like this and then having
your
average speakers?
Desktop speakers. Look, come on.
I'm listening to it to my iPhone.
We're into the purple galaxy, major, minor.
Oh, yeah, I think there's too much gain. Sorry.
We've gone red.
Halcyon. I think it's the same thing when we did the IRX. That like, yes, that just sounds great. This just sounds great. There is definitely, Boutique has got this, they just know how to make things sound flipping great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
I know it sounds great a lot.
I think it's really interesting because my recollection is I was more blown away by the IRX Direct than I have been with this Direct. But I honestly think it's just because we spent half an hour playing
listening to this
before.
First, absolutely, 100%.
And then it's just like, where can you go from there? You've just heard like the best guitar sound ever. There's only one way to go from there. And I sort of feel it's exacerbated that sort of sense of just like...
I think if you are tone hunting and you're a tone hound, if you go onto that pedal show, we saw Ben Steinhardt, and they do these experience days where you get to go. I mean, it's sold out all next year, right? But you get to go to their studio and you get to play the gear in their room. You get to play the old high watt. You get to play all of their gear, and you get to experience what it's actually like with your guitar and your pedal board plugged into something that is a real amp and a real cab. I know this sounds amazing. Yeah. I mean, as I keep saying, I've just done some more America's Got Talent stuff, and I used to try to use the QC. I tried to use what did I use recently to do it? It wasn't that. It was the IRX thing, UAD stuff, plugins. I tried the IRX as well, and it's really good, man. All of it is good. In the mix, it's all fine. It's all good. But what you don't get is that dominatrix kicking you right in the balls. You know what I mean? Like,
please let Oz video this and let him put some graphic up. Not video this, edit this and put some graphic in over that story, because I need to see that.
All right, now, mommy, daddy button.
That's just a whole other argument that will go on forever.
Yeah. So anyway, how much was this? $18.99.
$18.99 for the head. The cabs always, unfortunately, because these are imported from America, and importing big wooden boxes of air over the Atlantic is never great. So the cabs are. I don't think there's. I think these are about £1,000.
Yeah,
cabs,
and I am a big. I say buy this cab that goes with the amp. Don't say I've got this cab at home. I think it's a really good idea to try to buy a matching cab, 1 or 2 12, just because there is a reason why it's made for that. But you don't really need a cab with this.
Yeah, I can see both sides of that. If you're in the UK and you want to buy an American manufactured cab, you have to accept that you're going to
Speakers go over and they come back.
Yeah. And to a certain degree, if you can go and buy a Zilla
cab
thing that's the same and it's half the price, whatever, then there's a lot to be said for that.
Zilla makes great cabs.
On the flip side, there is another part of me that goes, you've just done $2,000 on the amp, why not get the matching cab? It's at least you've done it then, haven't you? And 5 years down the line, you're not going to be worried about the fact that it cost you 300 or 400 quid more. You're just going to be like, it is what it is.
Yeah, and you got the right thing and it looks great, and it's built for it.
And then you know that it's sounding how Mike Soldano wanted it to sound.
Yes.
But hey,
how much is the SLO30? Just out of curiosity, $3,000?
Yeah, that's a weird. I can't understand the pricing of that, because I can understand why the SLO100 will be so much more. I mean, the SLO100 is about $4,000, isn't it? But the SLO30 is quite a bit dearer than this, and this seemingly has a lot more stuff in it. So,
but this is only 20 watts, where the other one is 30 watts.
Yeah, what's 10 watts between friends?
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. Hey, man, what's 10 inches between friends? Or 10 millimeters between?
Anyway, there's another video, right?
No, it's the difference between.
Okay, well, that's it. I'm done. So is Pete. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be awesome if you would. And we'll see you in another video tomorrow.
Yeah.
Au revoir.
Go and listen to Joe Santriano. He's awesome.